The first time the Dominion made contact with humans, it was with a smile that didn't reach their eyes. Captain Darius Hale stood on the bridge of the UNS Argus, Earth's first long-range exploration cruiser, watching the alien vessel loom on the display. It was larger than anything his crew had seen before, smooth, silver-gray, bristling with antennae that radiated faint blue light. His comms officer patched the hail through, and the Dominion envoy's image shimmered into being. The alien was tall, skin the color of polished stone, eyes black and reflective. When he spoke, the translation came through in a measured, almost rehearsed tone. Humans, I am Envoy Razier of the Tavari Dominion. Your species has reached beyond its cradle and now enters a dangerous expanse. We are here to offer protection. Many powers would seek to exploit you. With us, you will be safe. Safe. The word lingered in the air like smoke. Hale kept his voice even. And the cost? Razier gave what might have been a smile. A fair share of your industrial output, resource levies, compliance with travel restrictions, nothing you cannot afford. In exchange, you join thousands of others who prosper under our shield. At his side, Commander Alina Voss leaned close and whispered, "Sounds like a protection racket." Hale didn't respond, but he felt the same twist of unease. The Dominion ship's hull bore scars of old battles. Its weapons arrays were numerous but outdated. Impressive bulk, but clumsy. His tactical officer's readings confirmed as much. Outward intimidation, inward decay. Still, Hale nodded diplomatically. We will consult our leadership before committing to any agreement. Razier's eyes narrowed. Be wise, Captain. The void is merciless to those who stand alone. The transmission cut abruptly. The bridge crew sat in silence for a long moment before Alina exhaled. They think we're children. Good, Hale said quietly. Let them. 3 weeks later, the Argus docked at Hellion Spire, the Dominion's administrative capital. The station was a monstrosity of steel and glass, orbiting a gas giant whose storms burned crimson against the void. Ambassador Kiera Solon led the human delegation, flanked by aides and translators, while intelligence officer Marcus Tren followed in civilian disguise. From the moment they stepped inside, the illusion of prosperity cracked. The docking bays swarmed with species carrying crates under guard. Faces drawn, movements weary. Soldiers lounged with plasma carbines, watching like shepherds over livestock. A Tavari counselor, pale-skinned and draped in ceremonial robes, greeted them with hollow courtesy. Welcome, new friends. May your people prosper within our order. Ambassador Solon offered polite words, but her eyes tracked the corridors. Every so often, she caught sight of signs that didn't fit the polished narrative. Repairs patched with crude welds, traders with hollow cheeks, workers escorted like prisoners. Later, during recess from negotiations, Solon approached a crystalline-skinned alien clerk who lingered near the hall. You serve here? She asked softly. The clerk's facets dimmed. Serve? No, we obey. My people mine energy crystals for the Dominion. We keep none. Refusal means eradication. Another species tried long ago. Their worlds are ash now. Meanwhile, Marcus Tren prowled the underlevels. He saw maintenance workers in chains. He saw children carrying ration packs under the watch of guards. He slipped micro-drones into ventilation shafts and comm relays, gathering data. What he found confirmed everything. The Dominion's protection was a system of extortion, enforced tribute, fear dressed as order. When he returned to Solon, his jaw was tight. It's slavery. They keep control by bleeding everyone dry. Resources funnel upward while the subject species rot. That night, Solon encoded a message and slipped it through Tren's secure line back to Earth. The Dominion is a parasite. If we yield, humanity becomes another vein to drain. Prepare for resistance. The response came fast. Within 2 months, Admiral Corin Vale commanded a fleet of 60 human warships, the largest force Earth had ever assembled beyond its home system. Their destination, the Syndral Expanse, a border sector where Dominion fleets patrolled. When Vale's ships translated into real space, they found a wall of steel waiting. 400 Dominion warships, arrayed like a net, under the command of Warmaster Zelka. Vale stood tall on the bridge of the UNS Aegis, arms folded behind his back. The odds were staggering, but his fleet was built for something the Dominion had never faced: unpredictability. The Tavari broadcast roared across channels. Humans, surrender. You are outnumbered. Defiance will see your species extinguished. Vale's lips curved faintly. We've heard that before. He cut the line and turned to his officers. Phase 1. Execute. For the first 20 minutes, humanity feigned weakness. Their ships fired sporadically, shields flaring as if straining. They pulled back in disarray, luring Dominion formations forward. Vale let them think victory was close, let them crowd tighter, hungrier. Then came the command. All units, reveal. Hidden gunports slid open. Stealthed corvettes uncloaked behind Dominion lines, unleashing kinetic rounds that tore through outdated shielding. Rail slugs punched holes clean through destroyers. Electronic warfare units jammed comms, seeding chaos. Human ships broke formation, scattering like sparks. Impossible to predict, impossible to cage. Dominion discipline cracked. Warmaster Zelka bellowed for order, but his commands dissolved in interference. His fleet, built for intimidation and brute force, had never trained against an enemy that thrived in chaos. Within an hour, nearly a quarter of his ships were burning. Zelka stared at his failing screens in disbelief. They were primitives. This cannot be. Vale's voice cut in, cold and sharp. You saw what we allowed. We do not play by your rules. With his command ship crippled and retreat sounding across Tavari channels, Zelka gave the order to fall back. Humanity's 60 ships stood bloodied, but unbroken amid a field of wreckage 5 times their size. But victory in the expanse was only the beginning. Back on Earth, President Elena Rourke convened with her Defense Council. Reports confirmed what they had feared. The Dominion would strike back hard. Their pride was shattered, their authority shaken. If humans were not crushed swiftly, rebellion would spread among their subject worlds. They'll bring everything, said General Mason Reese, head of planetary defense. 2,000 ships, maybe more. Straight to Sol. President Rourke's face was carved from stone. Then they'll find Sol is not undefended. For decades, Earth had prepared in secret. Not just fleets, but orbital platforms hidden within the asteroid belt. Missile silos buried on Luna. Kinetic launchers disguised as mining stations. Thousands of dormant defense grids waiting for activation. Dr. Ren Calder, chief architect of the defense net, spoke softly. They think we are children. They've never fought an enemy who hides its claws until the killing blow. The Dominion came 6 weeks later. Supreme Admiral Kayla Vey led a fleet of nearly 2,000 warships into Sol, their formation a wall of iron stretching across the void. Their arrival blotted out the stars. The message they broadcast echoed across every channel. Humans, kneel or perish. There will be no second offer. On Earth's surface, billions held their breath. From orbit, Admiral Vale's fleet of 90 battered survivors watched, hopelessly outnumbered. Even with Sol's defenses, the scale of the invasion was staggering. But President Rourke answered with only 6 words. Then come and try us. The Dominion advanced. At first, it seemed inevitable, wave after wave pressing inward, lasers and plasma lashing out. Human ships fell back in seeming desperation. Dominion officers laughed, believing the pattern familiar. Then the asteroids woke. From the belt, thousands of concealed platforms roared to life. Kinetic projectiles, railgun arrays, and missile salvos filled the void. Entire enemy formations vanished in storms of metal. From Luna's shadow, rail batteries fired slugs the size of skyscrapers, each one smashing through cruisers like paper. Hidden satellites cut loose with high-energy beams, searing through hulls. Suddenly, the Dominion were the ones trapped in a kill box. Admiral Vale's fleet surged forward, harrying their flanks. Smaller corvettes darted into the chaos, striking supply ships and carriers. Dominion formations disintegrated under pressure they had never imagined. Kayla Vey watched in horror as a third of his fleet vanished in the opening hour. He demanded reports, but comms collapsed under jamming. He called for retreat, but his voice was lost in the storm. On Earth's surface, billions watched the sky light up as streaks of fire burned across the void. The Dominion fleet, once unstoppable, was torn apart piece by piece. By the third day, their invasion was shattered. Of 2,000 ships, fewer than 400 limped away, harried by human pursuit until even retreat became slaughter. Kayla Vay's flagship was destroyed by a kinetic slug that cracked its hull clean in two. The Tavari Dominion had never known defeat like this. In the weeks that followed, rebellion spread like wildfire across their empire. Worlds long shackled rose up, emboldened by news of humans who had defied the impossible. Tavari garrisons, stretched thin, collapsed under uprisings. Supply lines disintegrated. On Hellion's spire, the Dominion Council fractured. Some called for renewed war, others for surrender. In the end, it didn't matter. Their fleets were broken. Their subject races no longer obeyed. On Earth, President Rurk stood before the United Nations, voice carrying across every channel. They came with promises of safety, demanding our submission. We answered with defiance. Let it be known across the stars. Humans do not kneel, we stand. And when tyrants threaten, we break them. In orbit, the Argus docked beside the Aegis. Captain Hale and Admiral Vale met in the command ring, looking out at the field of debris still drifting around Mars. They'll remember this, Hale said quietly. Vale nodded. Good, let them remember. Not because we sought conquest, not because we sought war, but because when they came to chain us, we chose to fight. And we showed them what it means to be human.